Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I want to overall answer this question: is wrestling bad for kids? I would have to say no, because I mean they teach wrestling in school. If you sign up for it, then yeah, it's like it's in schools and stuff. So I just think that before people, because I just know that there's probably parents out there that be thinking along the lines like, oh, wrestling is it's so bad for kids. I'm like, fam, there are far more worse things out there than your kid could be overall watching than wrestling. Wrestling, in my opinion, because I was watching wrestling, and I still to this day watch wrestling, but I got into wrestling when I was a kid. I was how old was I? I think I was either 9 or 10 years old. I think no, because I think it was in 2007, and I remember it was right after WrestleMania 23, and it was actually right after WrestleMania 23 and right after Backlash 2007. All held within the same year and stuff. But that's when I got into it. So I was 10 years old at the time when I had watched wrestling. And my thing is this, like, my parents, like, I remember when getting into it, they didn't have no ill feelings towards it. They wasn't getting on me for watching it and stuff, for telling me like, oh, like, I mean, they already wrestling will warn you like, hey, don't try these things at home and stuff. But yeah, it's like, even think I remember long before I had got into watching wrestling, I remember I think it was my dad. He bought me some like wrestling. I think he bought me a The Rock. He bought me a Rock action figure, and he got me like this wrestling ring. It was sick. I'm telling you, like, wrestling as a kid, wrestling toys is probably some of the best like inventions out there and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I know people will probably be like, "Well, if you're an adult and you get wrestling toys, I mean, hey, that's on you, bro." I mean, I guess if you're getting it for collection reasons, then yeah. But if you sitting there having like them kid fights, I mean, I don't know. People's source of entertainment. It's like it's one of those things. I'm like, make some money out of it. It's like go make some YouTube videos and do how like that stop frame like videos and stuff, where I don't know, like, I think it's like they take like pictures of like the action figures just in different like motions and stuff. But yeah, I'm like, make some money off of it and things. I mean, if you're gonna be buying those things, especially even if you're a kid too, but I'm like, it don't matter. But anyways, but yeah, it's like I remember when getting into wrestling when I was a kid, and my parents never got on me about watching, and they never was like, hey, you can't try these things at home and stuff. Especially, I mean, if you have like parents that, like, when you're a kid and they be playing around with you, it's like it almost be looking like a wrestling match at times. So that's why I'm like, yeah, they never tripped about it and stuff. And matter of fact, I think they were watching it before I was born. I remember at times my mom and dad, they talk on like how they would watch wrestling and stuff. And then it's just, I guess, like, at some point in time they grew out of it. Me, though, on the other hand, I know people would probably ask that question, like, would I ever grow out of wrestling? Probably not, because I'm like, I watch so much of wrestling, from YouTube to playing the video games to TikToks to actually still watching it on TV, streaming services. Yeah, I'd be watching wrestling all the time and stuff. I have to say, the days that I don't watch wrestling, it'll be Thursday and Sunday. And I'm like, cause yeah, it's like usually pay-per-views be coming on Sunday. But Thursday, I should get into TNA Impact and stuff, but I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I be needing me some rest days, because I'm like, nah, watching wrestling, it's like it's a lot at times. It's like you watching, because so it just throughout the week, I'm watching Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown, Wednesday night AEW Dynamite, Friday night. Wait, okay, hold on, because I feel like I saw Monday Night Raw, Tuesday night NXT. I feel like I said something else when I said Tuesday night NXT. I feel like I might have said SmackDown by mistake. But anyways, Monday night Raw, Tuesday night NXT, Wednesday night AEW Dynamite, Friday night SmackDown, and then right after Friday night SmackDown is some days it'll be Rampage, AEW Rampage coming on. But I don't know, like, Tony Khan, he's kind of weird with the scheduling and stuff with AEW. But yeah, Friday, right after Friday night SmackDown's AEW Dynamite, then Saturday night AEW Collision, and then if a pay-per-view comes on, then yeah, I'm watching that too. And then if a pay-per-view comes on Sunday, more so with WWE, now I'm watching that. So yeah, it's like and then that's just also explaining it to a non-wrestling fan. There are multiple wrestling shows to watch. Like, you got WWE shows, AEW shows, TNA Impact, I think, is like the only show to exist in the TNA business and stuff. I don't think they got like any other shows and stuff. But then New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then there's also kind of like the indie wrestling where they don't really have like no TV shows, but you might catch like a clip here and there on like YouTube. What else? TikTok, and then like, other social media play like Twitter and stuff. I know I see a lot. I feel like the wrestling community is really big on Twitter and stuff. So yeah, it's like you're bound to see wrestling any and everywhere on the internet and stuff. Like there's like probably websites just for wrestling, like a social media platform, but it's just for wrestling fans. If not, I'm pretty sure after this podcast episode comes out, somebody will get to working on it and things. But anyways, but yeah, it's like you'd see even at times, like getting back to like, is wrestling bad for kids? Like you'll even see where parents will bring their kids to wrestling shows and stuff. Like you even see at times where kids be getting involved with wrestling and stuff. So I don't know how many times I ain't seen where kids done got involved. You'll see that from time to time where it'll be like the wrestlers' kids will get involved, fans in the audience, they'll allow their kids to get involved. What other some other stuff? Yeah, it's like I had to say wrestling is probably one of the most kid friendly sources of entertainment out there, because that is one thing that I had to say that I really do like and respect about WWE, and I'm pretty sure all wrestling shows do this to a certain extent. They're probably WWE, because they're the bigger business, they probably can do it more, but no, they always get involved with those Make-A-Wish Foundation like kids and stuff. And no, I think that's some of the most dopest things like that they're doing. I'm like, I have to say, I always like when they show that, because I even remember there was this one kid that they talked on a lot, and sadly he passed away. I believe he was overall sick with something. I ain't gonna get into details on what it is, but there was this kid named Connor, and they have like this foundation called Connor's Cure. And I honestly, I think that was like, anytime when they show like old videos of that kid, I always like, no, I like, my eyes are just glued to the TV and stuff. That's one thing that I always liked about wrestling, is that they are very supportive to their community and stuff. So no, it's like, that's one thing about it. And then even at one point in time, like I remember I would have to say now, hold on for a second. All right, I'm back. I just had to, it was, got a message and it was a little distracting, but hold on, let me, put my stuff behind me and things. But anyways, but yeah, overall though, I'm like, yeah, wrestling, it's one of those, I got like way too distracted, but, I'm trying to like improvise and then get back into the episode and stuff. So, but anyways, wrestling. Back on that. We talking on that. We ain't talking on nothing else. But no, it's like, it just really trips me out though, where it's just I will hear it at times where like parents are like, no, it's too violent. And I'm like, well, that's kind of, it's a combat sport. It ain't really meant to be. I mean, they'll have like their friendly moments. Like that is one thing about wrestling. They'll have their funny moments. It ain't just always like just like straight up like, combat. But no, they'll have like their funny moments, like they'll crack jokes. I had to say this past Monday night though, yeah, they did go a little bit crazy. It's even something where I'm like, if like, I could just see myself right now if I had kids and we were sitting around watching wrestling and they're all like, Dad, what's going on? Like what's happening with these wrestlers? So to explain what happened this past Monday night, so there is this wrestler named Uncle Howdy. And he just, he's been with wrestling for some time, and he's honestly, it's funny how, like, even before he was, Uncle Howdy, he used to go by the name Bo Dallas, and, even back then, I always would be, just, like, glued to the TV when he, would appear, because I'm like, he was one of those guys that's just pure entertainment. So, anyways, yeah, just kind of giving you guys a little bit of a backstory on, like, what happened on this past Monday night, like, I guess for a non-wrestling fan. But, anyways, no, so he had, he debuted, this, like, Uncle, Howdy and his tag team faction, and they just pretty much demolished everybody. So the whole backstory behind that is because his brother, who sadly passed away, Bray Wyatt, he was, originally I think he was supposed to lead this faction, or they were supposed to all be a part of this, faction, him and his brother, and then some other wrestlers, but, yeah, it was like, that was his thing. His brother was, like, always about, like, just doing some, like, crazy and dark stuff. And in my opinion, I'm like, I loved it. I'm like, I know most people would probably be all like, nah, kids would be traumatized and terrified over stuff like that. I'm like, me, I loved it. If I had seen some stuff like that when I was a kid, yeah, I probably would have had a nightmare or two about it. But at the end of the day, I'm like, me as an adult right now, I can learn how to appreciate the finer things in life. All right. So anyways, but yeah, the brother Bray Wyatt, he always would have like some dark like sort of character, although he did go by, it was, that character wasn't really all that dark. I mean, they did do a form of an attacking he used to go, Bray Wyatt used to go by the name Husky Harris. And yeah, he was a part of this like faction, another faction called Nexus. And yeah, those guys, they were tearing things up. I was like, I still remember when they very first appeared on TV, and they attacked the announcers, the commentators. Who else? I think they attacked the camera guys. Yeah, they were going after everybody and stuff. And so that's pretty much what fast forward to this past Monday. What's the, hold on for a second, because I'm not good with names, and I am still like slightly distracted. No, the freaking, okay, hold on for a second, because I'm like, I gotta look it up, because if I don't look it up, then it's like, yeah, my brain is gonna be all up. Wyatt 6. Okay, there we go. So yeah, they that's pretty much what they did this past Monday. They did some form of attacking, and yes, it was dark. Is it meant for kids? I'm like, if you allow your kid to watch that stuff and explain it to them, because that's something that I definitely would. I guess like if I can see that they were being traumatized by it, I don't want to like ruin their childhood, but at the same time, it's like I also don't want to see them sad. I think I would rather ruin their childhood telling them like, hey, these guys are fine, like, they're not actually hurt. They might be portraying as they're hurt on TV, but yeah, it's one of those things where they're fine. And I'm like, and that's something that I will do when that day does come. I'm like, if they show some crazy, like if I'm watching wrestling, because most likely I am going, if they are interested, I am going to get them into wrestling and be sitting there watching it with them and stuff, and probably be going to shows, going to WrestleManias and stuff. But anyways, but no, yeah, I definitely will explain it to them. I'm like, yeah, they're fine, they're cool, they're chill. So I think that's something that a parent needs to do, rather than trying to block it out of your kid's life. Like, let them know, like, hey, this stuff isn't real. Like, these guys, like, yeah, even though that they just attacked that wrestler, they're the best of friends. Like, they're going out to eat afterwards. They're going to Red Lobsters, and they're getting, some whatever. They're getting something there and things. But yeah, it's like, nah, these kids, I don't know. Like, I need to just hurry up and finish this episode, because I'm like, I'm getting really distracted and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, I'm like, I definitely be all like, no, these guys is fine. I was like, I meant to say guys, but I accidentally said kids. Okay, just bear with me, all right? Just bear with me. But no, yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, rather than, I mean, it's even like that outside of wrestling. Like, you see it with like movies, music, video games. Like, I guess like more so with music, yeah, you'll have it where it's like if you're listening to an artist where they're dissing another artist, that's on some real life stuff. UFC, it's like, that's something where I'm like, I guess if my kid gets into it, I'm like, yeah, they get into it and stuff. But I definitely let them know. I'm like, yeah, even though these guys are really hitting each other and kicking each other across the head, like, they don't, I would like to think that they don't have real hatred in their heart towards that person, but I don't know. Like, that's up to them. It's something that I'm like, yeah, that's real. But yeah, WWE, unless some guys is out there really fighting and stuff, I'm like, but yeah, for the most part, I'm like, I don't think Randy Orton is really fighting somebody if he RKO'd them and stuff. I think, yeah, I think you'll be able to see the difference between a real fight and a wrestling fight and stuff. So yeah, I definitely would, I think, yeah, that's just something that a parent, needs to do, is explain that and things. But anyways, yeah, I just think that, like, you don't need to shield your kids from wrestling. Wrestling isn't really all that bad. If I just telling that to a parent, I'm like, nah, I'm telling you right now, it might look bad, but at the end of the day, it's like, these guys are the best of friends. It's pretty much, think of it like this. Wrestling ain't no different than a day-to-day workplace. These guys are working together. Yes, they're gonna crack jokes. Yes, but the thing is this: they are getting the job done. So that's how I pretty much look at wrestling. It's just people at their workplace getting the job done. Yes, their job is a little different than the average job. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, even when I was a kid watching like the stuff that I watched, because I more so had got into it like right when they started the PG era and stuff. There are, and the thing is this, I will say that about wrestling is that it ain't so much as like what happens within wrestling, but more so what happens outside of wrestling, where I guess like if there's anything to shield your kids from, is probably what happens to wrestlers outside of wrestling. Because for an example, the Chris Benoit situation, that's something that, you know, a kid doesn't really need to look into and stuff. I guess like if they at that point in time where if they're more mature as they get older, then you kind of explain it to them. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like stuff like that, most likely, yeah, you know, shield that away from them and stuff. But other than that, anything else, you know, I had to say, yeah, wrestling, it's very PG. Even if they say it's not PG, wrestling is super PG, bro. I'm like, compared to the stuff that I didn't see growing up, yeah, wrestling. If it was like a toss up between some of the actual dark things that I've seen versus wrestling, yeah, bro, I'm like, I have a whole wrestling household just to shield my kids away from the actual dark stuff in the world. So. But anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on podcast streaming service. Thank you guys, and peace.